Good evening, everyone. My name is Niedzwiecki, and today I will be talking about the assembly process of a TEFC motor. Now, the industry uses electric motors to power some of the machines. Most of them are AC motors, and some of those AC motors are TEFC electric motors. Now, the industry likes using them because they're reliable, durable, and cheap. This is a TEFC motor. It stands for totally enclosed fan-cooled motor. Now, once they break, they come into our work. So we tear it down, fix the problem, and assemble it back together. I usually assemble it back together. And this is, in order to do this, I got to know what the parts are for an AC induction motor. This is a basic setup of an AC TEFC motor. It consists of a stator, a rotor, bearings, end bell, fan. Once we get all the parts ready and inspected to be put back together, I usually set the parts out and make sure that I have all of them and they're accounted for. Once I inspect all the parts and make sure they're ready, then I can float the rotor into the stator. Once you float the rotor in, you have to match up the irons. That's an iron, and that iron, got to match up. Usually, for smaller motors, you can pick it up and put it in there. But for larger motors, you have to use 2 cranes and a pipe to float it in there. Once you get it floated in, then you can put the bearings onto the shaft. In order to do that, we heat it up by using an induction heater. We usually get it to about 210 to 250 degrees Fahrenheit to open up the metal, and so we can put it onto the shaft. Once we get up to 210, put it on the shaft. It locks it down once it cools down onto the shaft, and hopefully it won't move if everything's set up right. Once everything cools down, then you can put grease in it, if necessary. Now, if necessary is because some of the bearings have shields on them like these two. And if you have 2 shields like that, you don't have to put grease in it because they already have grease in it. But if they don't, if they're open, you have to add your own grease. You have to add your own grease in the bearings and also in the end belts. Now, once you get all your grease in there, now you can put your end belts onto your bearings and then onto your stator. And they fit on together like a puzzle. They have machine fits that fit together snugly. Once you put the end belts on, you got to make sure that the rotor turns freely. You can't have anything stuck or it'd be hard to turn. Once everything's fine and it checks out right, then you can put your fan on and then your fan cover, just for safety purposes. Once you put your fan on, then you have a finished product. Once you have a finished product, you can test the motor, which we usually put voltage onto the motor, make it turn round and round. Once it starts turning, you can check the bearing if it overheats or if the vibrations are high. Once it passes all the standards and checklists that we have, then we can paint it and ship it out to the customer. And after that, it's a finished product.